A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, taking a look outside and seeing a whole lot in the way of clouds out there. A little bit earlier this morning, wasn't all that bad. We did have little glimpses of a star here and there, but for the most part, it was a cloudy evening after a very nice Sunday. Plenty of sun out there. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as warm as what we'd like, but very little, if any, wind yesterday. So if you do, if you did have some activity that you wanted to participate in yesterday, well, it really wasn't all that bad of a day on Sunday. For that matter, Saturday, again, another chilly day. A chilly start to the weekend. We had more of a breeze on Saturday, a northwest wind, and it was below zero with the wind chills around early on Saturday morning. Sunny end, as we said, to the day, chilly overnight. Matter of fact, over the last 3 weeks, we only had one day where we came close to the freezing mark at 31. That was back on Friday. But we're looking at quite a bit more in the way of temperatures at or slightly above normal as we work our way into the work week this week. What did we see overnight? As I said, chilly temperatures. Caro overnight, 1 below zero. Cass City dropped down to 10 below zero. Bad Axe was at 3 below. Clio, a little bit further south, 7 below. Goodrich down in the Flint area, 3 below zero. Auburn, 1 below. Standish, you were at 1. You didn't quite hit the zero mark, but you came real close. A little bit further north, yeah, it was colder. Hale, 14 below. Glenny, 12 below. West Branch coming in at a 2 below zero. Just picking out a few cities, but it's indicative of what we saw overnight and getting into the morning hours this morning. We do have a high-pressure system over New York State, so that's going to try to keep us on the milder side of things now for today. And more so, as I said, as we get into the work week, we do have a low-pressure system north of Minnesota in southern Canada. That, along with that high, is what's pulling some milder air up at us, not real warm. But don't be surprised if we do see a temperature tomorrow approaching 40 degrees. And you got to go back several weeks in order to see a 40-degree temperature. What we're looking at right now is out at MBS International Airport, 14. Here at Radio Center, it's 16. Currently, Midland is looking at 14 degrees. Downtown Bay City is looking at 15 degrees. We do have a south breeze at about 7. Barometer is falling off at 30.26, again, because that high, where it is, New York State, it's moving away from us. Wind chill, currently we're looking at 4 degrees. A mix of sun and clouds all around the area. Bad Axe right now is reporting some partly sunny skies. Pontiac, Troy, Port Huron, a few more. Southwest side of the state, Benton Harbor is looking at partly sunny skies, and it's 24 there. So they're a good 10 degrees warmer there than what we are. Holland looking at 22 with sunny skies. Grand Rapids 19 with some sun. Kalamazoo 21, sunshine. Ludington 21, sunshine. Muskegon, South Haven. Muskegon at 22, South Haven at 25. Again, sunshine. Further north, a whole lot more in the way of clouds, not only in the northern half of the Lower Peninsula, but you get up in the UP, and other than Escanaba and Ironwood, everybody is reporting some cloudy skies, a few flurries in Newberry, and also looking at some mixed precipitation in Houghton. Now, as we go into the evening hours tonight, there is going to be clouds, and the breeze is going to pick up just a little bit, not much, but we are going to have a chance, and not a lot of coverage area, but a chance of seeing a little bit of frozen mist. So late tonight, early tomorrow morning, with the temperatures obviously being below freezing and having that mist, it might be a very good idea to take a little bit of time, because the roads, for the most part, should be in really good shape. The salt should be able to work, and I know the road crews really did a fantastic job after everything that we saw on Friday. The road's very nice on Saturday and over the weekend. But today, mix of sun and clouds. We should get up to about 27. So we've got a ways to go. We're going to need some sun in order to get there, and I think we will. Tonight, though, we are going to be looking at mostly cloudy. It will be breezy. And as I said, there will be a chance, especially after midnight, of some frozen precipitation with a low of 24. So the temperature isn't going to drop all that much because tomorrow we're looking for a high of at least 38 degrees. Some of you will be looking at 40. It'll be mostly cloudy. A front will slide through. My guess is right after lunch tomorrow. And the breeze will be picking up as well. It'll be coming out of the west at about 15 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. So that front will slide through. The winds will change a little bit of direction. Instead of coming out of the south as they are right now, they'll be coming more westerly behind that front. 22 will be the low tomorrow night. So it's still quite mild because we should be about 15 for a high, for a low. So 18 degrees, we're looking at above normal. 22 tomorrow night, 18 degrees for a low on Wednesday after a high of 30. Again, all of that because that front will be cruising through in the afternoon. So Wednesday, mostly cloudy, high pressure over Minnesota, 30 degrees for a high, 18 for a low. So it's going to drafting a little more cooler air, but the bitter cold air is well up into Canada, and we're not going to see any of that for a little while. Coming up on Thursday, more in the way of clouds, 30 for a high, 15 for a low on Thursday night as skies will be clearing off. Partly cloudy skies on Friday, 34, 35 degrees for a high, 20 for a low. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the mid-30s both days. Clouds and sun on Saturday, clouds, and we're going to keep our eye on a system that is going to be moving in our direction during the day on Sunday. So we'll just have to see how that plays out as we get a little bit closer to the upcoming weekend. Long range to take us all the way through the 22nd of February is for our temperatures to average above normal for this time of the year. Precipitation pattern is going to pick up a little bit. I think coming up on the weekend will be pretty close to average, but then moving into next week, the week of the 16th, is when we're going to begin to see the temperatures not only be above average, but the precipitation pattern is going to pick up a little bit as well. Record high in the state is 57, and that was set just a couple of years ago, 2024. The record low set way back in 1934 was 18 below zero. Incidentally, the warmest ever, 9th of February, was in 2024. 57 was our high, 37 was our low. The coldest ever, well, as I said, 1934, 1 was our high, 18 below zero was our low in that year. Most amount of snow for the 9th of February, it's a little bit better than 6.5 inches, and that was back in 2010. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Oh, incidentally, as far as ice on the lakes right now, Lake Superior, they say, is about 50% covered. Lake Michigan is about 34% ice. Lake Huron is 67%. Lake Erie is 96%. And Lake Ontario right now is about 26% covered with ice. That's it as far as our weather is concerned. Coming up, we've got Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West and Doug Klein from Oppenheimer. But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Insurance Agency. You know, they do understand the risks that you face as a Michigan farm and agribusiness owner. They know that every farm's needs differ, just like the crops in the fields. You're more than a number to the folks at the Rummel Agency. You know, and they know. You have goals, you have dreams for the future, and these things are really important to you and your family. So that's why they want to get to know you one-on-one so they can help get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. And the folks at the Rummel Agency invite you to mark down on your calendar a week from tomorrow. That's February the 17th. We're going to be at the Saginaw Valley Research and Extension Center as the Michigan wheat growers will be having their annual winter meeting at the research farm. A lot more information on that coming up. But again, the Rummel Agency inviting you to attend that meeting if you're a wheat grower or an interested individual in the wheat industry. The Rummel Agency with offices in Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Carroll. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West in Frankenmuth. Gary, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Terry. I'm doing well, thank you.
Are you staying busy?
Well, we're trying. Last week we had a little excitement, so we had a nice little bit of activity there last week, of course, with what all went on with the soybean interest potentially or possibility of China increasing some U.S. soybean purchases. And, that was, last week, Terry, was kind of a textbook example of risk and attempting to predict price. We came in here last Monday when we seen the March bean futures tumble down to 1051 on Monday, and that was the lowest price since January 16th. And then was a couple days later, Wednesday, there was some rumors going around with Trump tweets and China potentially increasing, and all of a sudden the market took off.
So right now, have we been able to hang on to those gains?
No, we're pretty much lower across the board, but overall last week soybeans were up 51 cents. We're down 7 on beans today, 2 on corn, 3 on wheat. So, it's kind of like, the big question is in the coming weeks, will China follow through on some of those potential purchases or not? And tomorrow we got a USDA report, our February report, so we're going to get some new numbers on stocks and South America production potential, and so we'll have some more info tomorrow. So
now some of the other commodities kind of followed suit after waiting a day. Have they held, or are they dropping as well?
The wheat's down. Wheat was down 8 for the week, but they did come up somewhat. They followed suit a little bit. Corn was up 2 last week, down 2 today, so pretty much unchanged for the week. But we got to continue to watch South America weather, what's going to transpire down there. But right now in this WASDE report tomorrow, we're not expecting a lot of the domestic balance sheet changes, Terry. And then they are still anticipating a record South America production, even though we had some, potential drought conditions down there. But they're thinking that production could tick higher tomorrow too. So unless we get some more bullish news, the market's just going to settle into that report tomorrow and until we hear some new export news, Terry.
So right now on the board at Star of the West, what do you have, Gary?
Yeah, right now, Terry, let's call cash wheat down 3. That puts the white at 507, the red at 432. New crop down 3 as well at 536 on the white, 451 on the red. Cash corn down 2 at 383. New crop is down 2 at 406. Cash soybeans currently down 6 at 1044. And new crop, let's call it actually unchanged now, Terry, at 1019.
All righty. You have a good one, Gary. Thanks a lot.
Yep, you too, Terry.
All righty. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, working with agriculture since 1895. Needless to say, they've seen it all. And every time they think they've seen it all, here comes something else that probably happened years ago, but it's rearing its ugly head right back. When it comes to the farm economy, you just don't know what's going to happen from day to day. A big gamble for a lot of folks, and a lot of folks have been able to deal with the gamble And that's what we're talking about when we talk about working with the folks at Thumb Bank. 13 locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Market Report also brought to you by Legendary Tree Care. You need some tree trimming done, especially orchard. If there's some trimming that needs to be done, the folks at Legendary Tree Care can help. Remember, no job is too big, no job is too small. They are fully licensed and insured, and they do specialize in big projects. LegendaryTreeCareMI.com or like them on Facebook. Doug Klein, good morning.
Well, good morning.
What are we looking at today?
Dow Jones hit an all-time high today. So that's okay. A little bit of a comeback on the tech business after losing $1 trillion over the last couple of weeks. So that's been rough. But bouncing back, hasn't hit a new high yet today. But like I said, bouncing back. The dollar's kind of getting hammered a bit, down about 0.5%, little more than that. So that's bringing up precious metals that have been a wreck lately. Not really helping out the grains at all. Don't understand that. But you probably made a lot of money short in natural gas since you knew that the weather was going to improve in the next couple of weeks. So, bam, that's down like 7% today. Not bad. Not bad. Next time, let me in on your inside information there, because I want to make some money too one of these days. It would just be nice. Like just share some of your wisdom with me, okay? Here's your numbers. The March corn is 428 and a quarter, down 2. September corn 442 and a quarter, down 1 and a quarter. March soybeans 1109 and a half, down 5 and 3/4. September soybeans 1095 and a quarter, down 1 and a half. The March wheat 527, down 2 and 3/4, and September wheat 559, also down 2 and 3/4. Sugar making a little bit of a comeback today, 14.49, up 38 cents. Crude oil is 64.49, up 94 cents. Heating oil is 241.06, down 2.5 tenths or a quarter of a penny. Gasoline is 199.44, up 4.1 cents. Natural gas 3.17, that is down 24.5 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, US dollar buys $1.3574 Canadian. That's down 100 ticks. Japanese yen, the dollar buys 156.07 Japanese yen. That's down 113 ticks. The euro's at 118.99. That's up 83 ticks. And the dollar's at 97.01, down 63 ticks. Gold is at $5,076.30, up $113.90 an ounce. Silver's 83.07, up $6.18. Platinum's 21.19, that's up $26.40. And copper's at $594.65, that's up 6.45 cents.
Okay. Wisdom, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Takes more than wisdom to work with these markets.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, you have a good one, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
You too.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Steiner Tractor, new parts for old tractors made easy. How easy is it? A telephone number. You need a part for that old tractor because you need it to work? Well, 800-234-3280. That's it. Or you can go to their website at steinertractor.com and get that price and get it shipped out to your place real quick if you need it. Steiner Tractor, they understand how your life and job both stop if that tractor stops running. Along with me right now from Michigan Sugar Company, I have Kevin Messing joining me this morning. Kevin's report brought to you by the folks at Foster Blue Water Oil and Blue Flame Propane. Again, they've got more power, faster cold starts, maximum lubricity, and up to 8% improved fuel economy with extreme diesel from Power Service. And it's available today at Foster Blue Water Oil. Kevin Messing, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Terry. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, not too bad. You know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, Kevin. I'm taking a look at the weather forecast. Not like we're going to get any beats in any quick, but as far as getting them processed, getting them taken care of, it looks like that real cold weather has kind of left us alone. So how much longer do we have now with the processing season?
Yeah, Terry, I'd say we have till the end of February. I believe we have 2 factories, Caro and Bay City, that we're targeting end of February finish, and Seguin and Croswell we're looking at finishing in that first week of March. So we're down to just a couple locations of transfers, and this reprieve from the cold will be welcomed at the factories. As you can imagine, trying to work with open water and sub-zero temperatures is always a challenge.
Yeah, it sure is. Now, last Thursday, a great attended meeting out at the SVSU. What's your take on that? What did the growers get out of it, Kevin?
Yeah, so we got a nice update from Neil, our CEO, with some of our updates in the general sugar market and economy, company updates on best growing practices, fungicides, leaf spot, nitrogen management, all of those things. We got some nice updates there to kind of help steer us in the right direction for the 2026 growing season.
And as far as the growers, their input, did they like what they hear?
Yeah, I heard a lot of really good responses, good tailored information, that makes sense and directly applicable on the farm.
So at this stage of the game, it looks as though the guys are getting ready. Sooner than later, things will probably start to pop. So any hints here?
Yeah, just at a grower shop, he's got his planter and they're working on it. He's not ready yet, but we've got some snow to melt and some frost to get out of the ground yet, Terry. But we're still kind of in a drought stage, so I think if we get the right weather, ground conditions could improve quicker than we expect.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Kevin, you take care. We'll talk to you again next week. All right.
All right. Thank you, Terry.
You bet. Kevin Messing with Michigan Sugar. Jerry Samolsky joining me right now from Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Jerry, what are we looking at right now?
Jerry, I'm just on my way back from Mackinac City. Spent Super Bowl weekend there, and some of the trees that were broken up a couple of years ago just aren't looking a lot better. The tops haven't pushed out that new adventitious growth to help lighten up and bring those trees. I'm afraid some of them, more of them than we would like, are probably not going to survive. So, that takes that into your yard about pruning and not pruning too hard and making sure that you're pruning appropriately. And again, probably I've always said water is one of the most important things to understand how much you need in your garden and what to do. The next one is pruning. And so, we want to make sure that we keep pruning top of mind, particularly as we go through this dormant period, because now is when you want to do it, now through bud break. So it might be a little chilly now, but, in the months to come, we're going to have much nicer days, much warmer. You can get out there, get it done, and the snow will be gone or very little, and you can get things cleaned up. Don't forget about pruning, Terry.
No, we won't. Jerry, talk to you again soon. All righty?
Yes, sir.
Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Got a telephone number for you. It's really important, especially if you've got equipment, if you've got machines that you need to keep running. 989-695-2239. Again, 989-695-2239. Whose is it? Hammond Drives and Equipment. You're a farmer, a contractor, a maintenance supervisor, whatever, anybody that needs electric motors. Let's say you need farm equipment. I mean, we're talking bearings, mounted industrial, agricultural, stocks, greases, hydraulic oil, agricultural wear parts, just to name a few of the things that you can get at Hammond Drives and Equipment. Call them up. That's the quickest and the easiest way to get done whatever you need to have done. Or you can go online at Hammond, that's HAMMONDEQP.com. But I think a telephone call will work a whole heck of a lot better. If you need to keep something in business for your business, check out Hammond Drives and Equipment in Freeland. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.